Hey everybody, Kyle Goth here from GoatFilmReviews.com and the Goat Film Reviews YouTube channel, and I've got my first reaction to the new film If, directed by John Krasinski. Truth be told, I watched this movie kind of late. I missed it in most of its theatrical run. I heard it was leaving my local theater, so I wanted to get a chance to get out and check it out. And I gotta say, I'm a big fan of John Krasinski as an actor. I'm a big fan of A Quiet Place and a few of his other earlier kind of smaller directorial efforts. If has a lot of imagination, which is what you need for a movie like this to be any good at all. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. It doesn't come across. I was left kind of muted on the whole thing. I feel like Krasinski's got a lot of great ideas that he's playing with as far as, the loss of imagination as we grow older, the wanting to grow up instead of the wanting to maintain that childhood innocence. But he doesn't hit the mark on this one. I really liked the visual look of a lot of the imaginary friends in the film. I really liked Kaylee Fleming. I think she has star power performance, or at least lead performance, because I think she's capable of carrying a lot of this film. She's actually in the film way more than Ryan Reynolds is, and significantly more than Krasinski is. I didn't honestly realize that he was even going to be in the movie at all, but Kaylee Fleming is in charge of a lot of this. She interacts with a lot of CG creatures, and I think she does a pretty good job of it as well. I became aware of Kaylee Fleming because she was on The Walking Dead. Other than that, I hadn't seen much of her, but I liked her in the lead role. I thought that Ryan Reynolds doesn't really have much to do in the movie. He's kind of known for his zaniness, his excitedness, but I outside of this big musical number that takes place about halfway through the film, which I don't entirely felt like was necessary, even though it is probably my favorite moment in the movie, he's not really given that much to do. I thought the character that Krasinski had written for himself as the main character B's father was kind of annoying. Like, I know what he's trying to do, but it kind of came off as when you really think about what Jim on The Office is doing to Dwight for those 9 seasons and how much he's kind of an asshole for it. And I don't think that was the intention. I'll be honest, I don't think that was the intention. I really like John Krasinski, but I don't think that character worked at all. Fiona Shaw. I liked Fiona Shaw in the film quite a bit. She plays the grandmother. She rarely ever gets to play a loving character. She's known for things like, I don't know, when I think of Fiona Shaw, I think about the Harry Potter films where she's kind of an awful aunt. I think about Koopa's wife from Super Mario Brothers. I think about she played a character in True Blood that was a villain as well, I believe. And it's like, she can do other things, and I think she is probably the standout supporting performance of the film. I also really liked a lot of the voice performances of the film. I'm not sure if this was intentional, but I kept finding myself trying to figure out who was that voicing that character, because there's a few that are on the outset being talked about. Phoebe Waller-Bridge voices one, Louis Gossett Jr., the late great, voices one, Steve Carell does. But then there's other ones where it's like, I didn't see a name in the credits for that, but I'm pretty sure that's Sam Rockwell. That kind of thing took place. And maybe that's kind of a fault because you find yourself more invested in who's doing the voice than what the characters are doing. But I do think that, the presentation of the ifs was pretty strong. It's just that the movie doesn't have much. It doesn't have much forward momentum. And I think it gets bogged down and lost in some choppy either editing choices or writing choices, because we move from scene to scene without really evolving the story or the characters. It's just, oh, now we're doing this instead. Oh, now we're doing this. But we don't have the thrust of the characters moving forward through the story. It's almost like the story is happening around them, pulling them from scene to scene. So there's some choppy writing in there, or perhaps it's in the editing itself. I'm a huge fan of Michael Giacchino. I think I'm saying that right. I really like him as a musician. I liked his directorial film as well. I think this might be my least favorite Michael Giacchino, or Giacchino, whatever. My least favorite one of his scores. I thought it's got that kind of bum 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 bum. Like it was so bubbly and intoxicatingly over the top that I just did not. I didn't find the music to be very entertaining either. So overall, I was kind of disappointed in this one, and I'm sad because when I heard the idea, I was excited for it. Knowing Krasinski's work on the Quiet Place films, this was a completely different direction, so I applaud that. He's doing something unique. He's making a film like for his kids in some way, whereas A Quiet Place is more about his love for his kids. But yeah, I did not feel the thrust of the movie. I will say, I think the cinematography by Janusz Kaminski, pretty solid. There's good things in this movie. I just think overall it doesn't mesh well into a complete project that really that really felt like it had any emotional resonance, which is unfortunate because I feel like it internally has the ideas that I would go for. It just didn't really end up making them. So I'm sorry, but I cannot recommend If from John Krasinski. But you can check out my full review of a number of different films over at goatfilmreviews.com. You can find Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can follow me personally at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Threads. You can find my show Kyle and Nick on Film that I co-host with Nick Plachek from the St. Paul Filmcast. We have new episodes of that show every single week. Please like and subscribe to this video, help support it, and move the channel further down that line. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next time. Keep dreaming.